Hello there guys, welcome back to another live stream. My name's Mike, aka Decimal Punked, and today we're in the Unreal Engine 5.5.4. This is my university project. It's called C.E.S.A.R, not Caesar the Roman dude. C.E.S.A.R, C.E.S.A.R, stands for Celestial Engineers Search and Rescue. It's a game set in space, sci-fi, robots, creatures. Quite fun. I'm happy with how it's come out. So today's stream I've titled Creature Behavior Trees and Enemy Behavior Trees. What that means is the existing creature behavior tree, we're going to be building on top of that, because if I just bring up one of them, just give you a quick talk through what we're going to be doing. If we just go Gekanda, for example. So at the moment, this is basically, this part here is the follow player logic. So there are two other branches that need to be implemented, which is the retreat logic from the player. So in the event that the proximity goes above the amount on the radar, the player will, the creature will lose, I guess, the following logic, and it will then do its retreat logic. Now, each creature has their own retreat logic. They act slightly differently. So yeah, we're going to do that, and then also there's going to be the logic for when they're caught by the AI robot. Now that's going to be interesting, because that basically will be the enemy behavior tree kind of communicating to the creature behavior tree. So I think the best way to do that is through booleans. And then the enemy behavior trees, they have the chase player already. So what we need to do on the... they also have the patrol as well. So we've already got the patrol logic. So on the chase player logic, all we need to do is build on top of that and add in the robot doing damage to the player and deducting health from the player. They then have an investigate noise. So if the player is searching an item, basically the robot, if it hears it, it will go and investigate it. And then the last part is when the enemy sights a creature, they will basically follow the similar logic to the player, but this will be this will basically be the creature, and then when it reaches the creature, it does the capturing animation, and then it will find the nearest container, take the creature to it, and then the creature gets destroyed in the process. So it's going to be, not, I wouldn't say complicated, but there's a lot of work to be done, and this is basically the final part, I guess, of all of the way the game functions. We've already got the win condition tested, so when the player escorts 4 creatures back to the center of the map, they win the game. So this is just building the rest of the remaining logic for how all the AI behaves in the game. We've already got the HUD. The HUD's basically done. I want to rework the looting, that little pop up there. So we got the proximity radar. So you'll notice one thing is, how many circles have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically, guys, that circle, this proximity radar functions based on the distance the player is to the creature. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to enhance that feature So when the circle goes past one of those ringlets, it goes beep, 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 beep. And then what we'll do is we'd have a higher pitch. So the pitch here would be lower. And then as it gradually goes up, the pitch increases. So that just makes it, as opposed to it just being what it is at the moment, it's making it even better. And also, I wanted to make the radar, like if I just show you at the moment, the radar's on the screen. I wanted to have that hidden off screen. So basically, when the player is in escorting, we're going to have that proximity radar slide up, and then when they're not escorting, it will slide back. So I kind of wanted to get that done first. I just thought that would be quite fun. I know that I've titled the stream Creature Behaviour Trees. We will be doing that. That is the focus of this stream, but this is just a tiny thing that I wanted to, I just wanted to quickly get done. So I've sourced a nice sound effect. Let me just check. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to bring this sound effect. So we're going to audio, sound effects. So this is radar beep. You hear that? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to save that. We're going to... I did just go save. Why is that? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to call this SQ radar A. So basically you have A, B, C, D, and they're going to be higher pitch. So we're going to move that into the Q folder. And then we set the class to sound effects. I'm just going to pause the music. I'm going to set that to 0.85. Okay. Right, so that one's fine as it is. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that and rename that to B. And then B's already got that. So now what we do is oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so A is standard. And then B will just go up by 0.1. And then we're going to post that. Go into here. We're going to go 1.2. And then this is going to be D. And that's 1.3. So if I just save all, right, so we'll play through these. We have the first one. That's a really nice incremental step there, just adding 0.1. Okay. So I can hide those. And then if we right, set radar proximity. Oh, that's going to be a bit of a... Okay, I can't plug the sound effect into... If I plug the sound effect into there, because if you trigger a sound effect from an event tick, it doesn't play it once, it will play it shitloads of times. So let's just think about this. So this is setting the radar proximity. So if the player is escorting, we set the size of it based on the distance from player to creature. And then if I go to the graph, so that's get the Okay, this is interesting. So the way I've done the radar is we have the code here. Where we basically do this. So if the player's escorting, then we set the proximity variable, and then the HUD reads that variable and scales the bar, the size of the bar, to whatever that is. Now I know, because I've plugged that custom event, set radar proximity, into the event tick, I know that plugging a sound effect anywhere in here is going to make it play multiple times. So I'm interested within the code for the proximity bar. I'm wondering if we plugged in a sequence, a 4-node sequence, because this kind of is kind of acting like the event tick, because it's reading that variable. So I'm wondering if this will work. So let's do if we just go into player character, sorry, one sec. Spawn sound, reset spawn. Spawn sound 2D. So if I do spawn sound 2D, okay. If we have a sequence, and this will be an if. Now I know I've already got the variable in there, but I'm just going to get so if proximity, oh, what is it being set to? Proximity is being set to 1. Right, okay, so if it's 0.25, so if that equals 0.25, now you'll notice that node I just pulled up nearly equal to. If this fails to function, we'll try the other node. Right, so if I guess I don't actually need this. I know what I'm doing. Hold on. Radar A. Auto destroy. So get the player ref, get the proximity variable. If it's 25, and that's true, play the blip. So then if that's not true, then we will do this. .75 B C. This should work. Okay. I don't even need the sequence, to be honest. Guess if we just put that there. I think this is going to work. I'm just hoping it will trigger once. I guess the only way is to test this out, guys. Let's the moment of truth. Oh! Get the proximity bar. Oh, I can't do a custom event. I guess we could trigger the custom event. Can we trigger the custom event? Have we got any custom events? We do, okay. I mean, if we plug that just in, because plugging this in here seems to have messed up the thing. So if I just copy that and put it down here, and if I call this radar SFX, let's give it a go. Whoa! Okay. Right. Okay. Is there any way that we can... Is there any way that we can add something that will detect and play once? Interesting that it only played. Let's think about this. You only want it to play. We know that at the point that proximity equals 3, we're going to turn off the escorting, which will stop this code. So if I know it might, I mean, I think it's going to be a good solution, but if we had something to check, let me just try something a little bit different here. So if I just created 4 quick booleans and called them radar A, radar B, radar C, radar D, right, and by default they're off. So if we had something in here to say we can plug this into the if I get rid of that from there, oh, let me just test the circle still functions. Sorry, this is slightly going off of the creature behavior trees, but I just wanted to get this done, guys. So radar SFX, what we're going to do is, if I just bring this down, we're going to have a sequence with the 4 pins, and we're going to get the proximity and we're going to say if proximity equals 25, we're going to set the radar to on, and only when it's on is when we play the sound. If it's false, we set radar, so that way we're saying only ever play the sound when it's exactly at 25. So then if we just repeated that logic for the other, so 0.5, the radar B, let's change that, so this will be radar B. A, B, C, D, A, B, C and D, 25, 5, 75, 1. Right, radar SFX. Here we go. Let's see if it works. Welcome to the stream. Why is it not? Okay, so on that basis, I think it's not triggering because we're looking at exactly for that. So no, we don't need it for that one. It's this one. These other ones. If it's nearly equal to 0.75, unplug that one, plug that into there. I'm pretty sure that's why it's not triggering. I'm wondering. That's interesting. Concurrency would mean at the same time. I can't see any. It's working when it goes up, but when it comes back down, it plays after a delay. It's almost like, let's just do that again. It's almost like because another sound is playing it. I mean, it's working. Robot! No, he can't see you. These glass panels. You can't see through the glass. I am going to darken the glass, guys. Come on, little dude. Okay, I mean, it's working nicely. Let me just do the bug fix. What was the bug fix? Sorry, well, it's not really a bug fix, it's change. So, increase opacity on glass material. Okay. Let me just have a quick read up on the concurrency setting, guys, because I have a feeling if a sound is playing, then it won't let you play another sound over the top. I just need to quickly read this up. Interesting. I've never used that before. So the concurrency setting controls how many instances of a sound can play at the same time and how it behaves when the limit's reached. So This is really, really handy. Okay, that's really, really good. This might fix that issue where it sounded incorrect. I've never used that before. Concurrency. Concurrency. Okay, I guess we'll just make a new folder. Concurrency. Audio. I'm going to call it SCON for sound concurrency. The maximum number of allowable concurrent active voices for voices playing in this concurrency group. Maximum count would be 1, so it's only allowed to play once. Stop the if all sounds are the same distance. I've never used this setting before, guys, so let's make a one of these for each one because they're different sounds. And then I can't bloody see it. Let's give that a go. It's going to be something new for me, something new of working with. Why is it playing like there? Right, the trigger point is actually there. That's interesting. It's actually... Okay, I've got an idea. A way that we can figure this out. If I select the proximity bar, save it. If I remove get proximity bar percent, if I remove that, we can actually just scale this and find out the value. Oh, that's interesting. So it's actually 0.35 is where... That's very interesting, isn't it? So 0.35 is where it's actually on the ring. That's why the sound effect was sounding odd and not playing at the point that it passed the thing. So 0.35. So we changed that to 0.35. And then we'll go to the next one. So that's 0.57. 0.57 is the next one. So that one was close, so that's 0.57. And then call that 0.78. No. 0.79. 0.785. 5. Okay. Okie dokie. So those are the correct points at which the circle is in line with the what's it. So if I now put back on the get proximity bar percent, this should now sound perfect. Why is it not playing at the top? You know what? We're just going to play around with the variables. It's really weird that it's... Let's go 0.8. This is really weird. Even though I went into the actual widget blueprint to check the correct... It's still not visually matching up when we're in game. I wonder if that's because of the... Let's do that. I wonder if it's because of the floating point error. No, it definitely needs that. You numpty! I didn't put these in there. That's why. What a numpty. It was going by the old values. Numpty numpty no. Jesus Christ. Interesting that the bottom one... Oh, you numpty. Put it in the wrong one. That's why it's triggering twice. Right, why is this one we know that our maximum distance is going to be 1. We know that. Um, that should be playing. When it's 1, set it to the D, play the sound. And radar SFX is getting triggered here. Let's debug this. So we're going to watch and we're going to see that the variable is 1, and then I'm going to try putting this on the event tick of the player character. It's at 1. Why are you not playing? Why is that? I might do this on the event tick, guys. So radar SFX. I don't think I even need those booleans, you know. Let's see if that makes a difference. Why is the sound not playing? What is going on there? If proximity equals 1, play it. Why are you not playing it? Why are you not playing, dude? Dude! You know what? I'm going to see if that makes a difference. Oh, 2 spam viewers. Welcome to the chat, Well and Perennial. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the comment and the popping in chat. I am not sure why that is not. I might need to increase the tolerance there. I mean, essentially, what's meant to happen is after in the event that the proximity equals 1, we trigger the player losing the creature losing logic. So radar target. The radar target should be getting set in the no, sorry, I think it's the portal that does it actually. Where's the spawner? There we go. So this is where it sets the radar target. Whatever creature is spawned, that becomes the radar target. Okay, so what I should do then is, instead of this logic here, once the proximity equals 1, we're basically saying set radar proximity. This is running on tick. If they're escorting, we're doing a radar. I guess here we could say if proximity equals 1, so if escorting is false, we're setting it to 0. And we're going to play the sound there. So that means the radar will go off. And then in the event that proximity equals 1, oh. Let's test this. Okay, so when a creature spawns, so I guess what we would do is if we had an on tick on the creature or something to say if escorting is false, then it's going to be tricky, isn't it? So if escorting is false, then the creature does... I mean, we could have like a boolean on the creature to say lost player boolean. So under here where we're saying the escorting is off, this we don't want multiple creatures. Now, I noticed, just one thing I noticed was the If you move too fast, if you move too fast, you'll notice that it's not. I think what we need to do is set the, because sometimes when you move too fast on the with a creature out, the the logic, it's like this, the progress bar moves so fast that it skips past the variables. So I think down here, if we did it to, I'm just going to jot that value down. I think that's going to work better with an error tolerance of that. No. That already seems much, much better. Fudge cake. Plays perfectly. Jesus. Okay. Let's just test that one more time. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. I'm happy to... I'm happy with that. So... let's straighten this out. So for the radar sound effects, if the float is nearly that, with a tolerance of that, we played a sound effect. So we didn't need to have the 4 booleans. So this this yellow is to do stamina. This is for additional on-tick events. This is to do with the spawning. This is to do with the radar. As is that. So it feels relevant to place this just there. This is developer for deducting and adding health. And this is cheat code to guarantee a monster spawn whilst we're testing. So now that I've just tidied that code up, let's check it still works. Should be fine. Let's go! Here we go! Okay. SFX for when proximity passes a circle. Done that. Pop-up radar is the next part. So it's taken me an hour and 28 to fine-tune that sound effects and get that all. But it feels like instead of it just being the static image it was, it's now got an audio as well. So if the player's not watching the radar and they're focusing on avoiding an enemy, they've got that audio feedback, so they know if they're not looking at the radar, they're still hearing it. So okay. Right, let's have a look at this logic. Radar proximity. If the player is escorting a creature, we get the creature's distance and the player, we calculate that, and then the radar limit is basically the limit that I'm allowing the player to be from the creature before it loses distance. Now we don't want the player to be able to loot another creature whilst the creature is still in existence. Okay? Now the problem with me turning off the escort, it isn't that we're doing this and we're setting that. The problem is, at the moment, when we're doing this, the logic for the creature, they're still following us, and also setting escorting to false allows us to loot another creature, and we don't want that happening. So if I had a boolean it's tricky, isn't it? Hold on. Give me one sec, guys. I'm just thinking here. Let's just save all. So what I want to do now is, now that we've got that really nice sound effects, there was one other thing I wanted to do with the HUD, and that was to basically make the radar go up and go down. So if player is escorting, then it goes up. If they're not escorting, it goes down. But that should be based on... So you want to set all three of those. That can be another job. Hey Ace, welcome to the stream, bro. Oh Ace, I'll show you what I've done if you want. I've just been working on the sound effects for my creatures for the radar. Oh, this is my space game. This is my solo project that I've got to do. This is another level. What do you mean? What do you mean it's another level? It's a game about saving, locating and rescuing the alien creatures from the robots. Thank you, dude. That's very kind. Basically, you have to find 4 of these. I'll see if I can show you the robot. This is my robot. And then if he spots you, he chases you. It's quite scary. So you can see the bottom left, you've got a codex. That is tracking how many creatures you've got to find. Oh crap. I'm glad you like it, dude. I'm really, really proud of this. Every project I have, I always try and make the next one even better, like just more. Not that I don't put the same amount of effort. Oh shit, it's found me. Not that I don't put the same amount of effort into each project, but I just seem to, I don't know, keep going. Oh shit. I just seem to keep going above, like doing more, even more than before. Let me just, oh shit. What I'm implementing today is the attack logic for the robot. And then once you've rescued all 4, that's the game complete. The proximity radar is your distance to the player, the creature. If you go too far, if you reach the limit of the radar, the creature will have its retreat logic kicking. And there you go, top left, game complete. There is another robot I'll be putting into the game as well. But everything you see is my own work. All the code, all the models, literally everything is all done by me. And it's really nice to say that. Apart from the sound. Sound and music is the only assets that isn't mine. I will be doing a credits thing on the main menu. So, you know, you'll be able to see, well, just the credits for the audio, basically. That is true, dude. That is very true. I take the knowledge I learned from previous projects and put that into the new one. So yeah, everything builds. And the great thing is, I have all my other projects. So if there's something that I've made before, and you know I might have forgotten, or I need to refresh my memory, I'll just go back to a previous project, look at the code, and be like, okay, cool, and then re-implement it. I'll show you my favourite room quickly, which is the atrium. This is my favourite area of the space station. I absolutely love this place. You've got plant pots in the middle. You've got a huge coffee machine. One thing I'm going to polish at the end is the lighting, because there's a planet out there. The idea was that the planet beams red light. It just gives off red light. So that's something I need to work in, because you'll notice, like, here, you see that there's like this glow on the locker. That's to do with the settings on that light. There's so many settings. I just need to play around with it and tweak it. But like you can see there as well, just on the thing. So when I tweak it, that will fix the lighting issue. But I love the lighting. But yeah, I'm glad you like it, dude. I've put a lot of work into this one. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, let's just set that to... There we go. Just check that's working again. Okay. Right. So the thing I wanted to do on the code, we need to figure out a boolean or a gateway whilst the creature's alive, because this escorting boolean affects the player being able to loot. So if a creature is still in play, we don't want to set that off. So maybe this should have is creature. I don't know. I need to think about that. But the one thing I wanted to do with the radar, at the moment, when you're in the game, the radar's quite big. What I'd rather have is that not visible whilst the player's not escorting a creature, and then when they find a creature, the radar pops up. So I was going to have that on like a timeline animation. Now, what I could do, the easiest thing to do would be doing this on a timeline. If I open up just one of my doors, basically these doors, they have this timeline which just handles the position of the door going up and down. So I could do something in there to say I wonder if can we do timelines in here? Timeline. Interesting. Oh my god. Let me think about this. I know there is an animation option. I've done animations in previous projects. We basically need to move these three children of the HUD, the canvas panel, down, and we basically set the alignment. So if I just do 0 on the alignment, it's hidden, right? And if we, oh shit, if we put it back to 1, all right, let's try this. What is it? Proximity, frame bar, and overlay. Hold on, I should... let me just... Can I not bring that out? Oh, that's annoying. Add... Why did that just freeze up? That did not bode well. No, I don't want that to happen because the radar's quite large. For me, it's a bit intrusive on the UI screen space, having that there all the time when the player's not escorting a creature. What I want is the radar hidden whilst the player isn't escorting a creature. The moment the player is escorting a creature, we would play the animation to make it come onto the screen and then go off of the screen, kind of like a pop-up, you know. So I'm just, I mean, we could always have it come from, I was going to have it come up from the bottom, but I think it might look nicer coming from the left, the right hand side. If I did -1, oh shit. If I did -0.5, dude. 0. Zero. I'm hoping. There we go. There we go. They've shown up on the radar visibility. So where I can't. It's been a while. Oh, here we go. So if I set that to 1, so it's a timeline. Okay, where do I need to specify 1. Okay, cool. There we go. Alright, let's see if this works. Welcome to the stream, guys. So we're gonna say when we play the animation, it comes into view. So if we go to the end and I keep doing the content draw. Welcome back, bro. Why am I not seeing? Proximity bar. You know what? I'm just gonna delete that. Do that. Radar animation. Just go do that again. Why do I keep opening the content drawer? OMG. Right, we can see the 3 keyframes. So at the end, we're going to add another keyframe. And then go back to the beginning. And for these, we're going to want to say X is 0. X is 0. X is 0. Oh, look at that. That's really nice, isn't it? So basically we'd play that when the players are escorting a creature, we would play that animation, it brings it in. And then when it disappears, we do the reverse. So, and what we can do is we can always change the speed of this. So, actually no, I think 1 second is actually quite nice. Right, so if I click off of there, oh my god, you'd want to play the animation once, so, ooh, is there an event tick? Event tick. There is an event tick. You want to play the animation once, so if escorting is true, animations, there we go. Radar animation. Animations. Oh my god. There's something I've got. Sorry guys, give me a minute. There's a lot going on here. Play. If we're in the event graph. Okay, so this is for the codex. So play the animation. I've made somewhere. I've made a widget ref on event begin play. I've made a widget reference. I can't bloody remember which one it was in though. That's the player ref. Where did I do that? Which one? Basically, if we had play it once. Okay. That was really easy to do. Unreal Engine needs an AI? No. No, it doesn't. No, thank you. I like learning. I like the process. I like the hardships during this, you know, problem solving. I don't want AI doing it all for me or else I don't learn. Show radar, hide radar. So now that we've got those custom events, we need to do this once. Now, doing it on here, if I had a boolean for lost creature, so we've got the is escorting. The is escorting handles the ability for the player to loot. If we had a block to say lost, if we just had a boolean called lost creature and we set that there, because they're still kind of like, they're not actively escorting, but the creature's still in play, so we shouldn't be able to loot. Play the sound of the radar. If they're escorting, I guess we play the animation there, and then over here we turn it off. Yeah, let's just add a boolean and call this creature in play, meaning is there a creature in the level at the moment. By default that's off, so if I added on another thing here, So if escorting is false, so the gateway for the player to be able to loot. If a creature is in play, true, then nothing happens. So we need creature in play to be false. So off of there, if I do that, we're basically saying in order to loot, we can't be escorting a creature. There can't be any creatures in the level. And we can't be looting a container. So now that I've got that boolean, with the creature in play, just give me 1 sec, guys. We need to set that to true on creature spawn. So the spawn manager, when we spawn a creature, we're saying that's the radar target in the player variable, and also say that a creature is in play. So now that we've got that being set there, if a creature is in play is true, we can't loot. If escorting is true, nothing happens. If escorting is false. So basically, if we lose the creature, so is escorting by default is off, but the moment a creature spawns, we say the player is escorting them. Okay, so just making sure I'm on top of the logic here. The creature spawns in, we say they're being escorted. The spawn manager says a creature is in play. So then, by default, game start, all of that is going to be false. So this will be true if it's a lootable container. No, I don't want to use AI to help me make my games. I hear what you're saying, but no, I'm all good. Right, so if it's a lootable container, the player isn't escorting a creature, and there isn't one in the level at the moment, and the player's not already looting a container, then we allow them to loot. So going to the logic here, on the radar, if escorting is true, we should play the widget animation. So then what we do in the logic for the creature, because we have creature in play and is escorting, basically if escorting is false and creature in play is true, that means the player's lost the creature. Okay, so that's the condition. Let me just make a note of this. So if is escorting false creature in play true, then player has lost creature. Condition for creature behavior tree logic. Okay, sorry, I'm making notes, guys. There's a lot I'm doing here. Set escorting, yeah, okay. So spawn manager does that. Creature in play. I need to. I know there was a. I need to make a reference to the HUD. I did this in another thing. So basically, I need to try and locate it. That's for the player ref. It's not going to be in there. Event begin play, create widget, set that as the HUD ref. There we go. Okay, so we can target it there. Okay. So, on my event begin play, we're gonna, yeah, so event begin play, we set the spawn index. Get actor of class. This is going to be BP HUD. Now we know by default, I don't know why I did that. So the event begin play, that's currently plugged into switch on int. Okay. Now by default the spawn index is 0, which means the player's spawn index is 0. Sorry, apologies. The index is 0. Spawn index 0 means the spawn chance is 5. So if I just go to the spawn chance and just turn it on to 5, the default variable for the spawn chance float, I don't need to connect that into there, because the moment we loot something, we increase the spawn. So if the player, so whenever increase spawn is done, we get the spawn index, add 1, we clamp it to the maximum of 9. So you can see that's the event, increase spawn, get the spawn index plus 1, clamp it, set it, and then the switch on it will set the float, the spawn chance accordingly. So if I increase spawn, go back to the barrel, the increase spawn's being triggered there. So let me just go back here. So we can unplug that because spawn chance 5. Oh my god. Spawn chance 5. Right, so event begin play. I'm going to move that there. This is for the player being able to... These are basically cheat codes here. They're not cheat codes, they're options for me to bug test and debug and blah blah blah. So P sets a guaranteed spawn. Number pad minus deducts 1 health. Number pad plus adds health. So I'm gonna just move these up here. Dev cheat codes, we'll call them. Okay. Right, sorry, we need to do this. So, event begin play, we're getting the BP HUD, and we're going to promote this to a variable and call it HUD ref. We're going to compile, save, and then move that back. Okay, so on game start, set the HUD ref, which is down there. So now we can go into the HUD ref, we can get the widget HUD ref, and then in here we'll be able to trigger show radar, hide radar. And now what I can also do just quickly is I can select these and put the alignment on the X to 0. So game start is not there. So let us just move this down to here, because this is related to the radar. I want to keep the radar things the same. Okay. Right, that should work, guys. So when we're escorting, we're showing the radar. I'm a little bit concerned though, because this is on event tick. Oh God. I mean, it might be better to... I have a feeling that this animation is going to loop over and over. If that does, we'll move it off of this, because the set radar event is happening over here. So what it might be best to do is... over here where we're setting the escort, just trigger it once. But that should work though. We're showing the radar, we're hiding the radar. I have a suspicion though, guys, that it is gonna play multiple times, over and over. Interesting. Interesting. Why is that not working then? Why did that not play? I wonder. I do have a suspicion. It is because it's on event tick. So what's basically happening? If that is being triggered every single frame, it's going to start at 0 every single time. So it's never going to start moving across the screen because it's been reset. So that's what I suspected would happen. So event begin play. Show the radar. I'm gonna need to do what I did up here. So if I just open up all my creatures, Bearcoon, we've got Gekander open, Gelatino, and Octonymph. So, yeah. Event begin play. Get actor of class. I'm not going to create a widget reference for that. I'm just going to test this works. Love this song. Right, I'm hoping that should work now. I have faith. I have faith. Because it's not happening on event tick, there's no reason for this to not work. Pray for me, guys. Hey! I knew it would work. I knew it would work. Okay, I don't know why I got rid of that. So we spawn the creature. Professional. Am I happy with the speed that comes in? That's the question. Sorry, just testing here, guys. I want to make sure it does the spawn animation. It does, yeah. Right, am I happy with that speed? Let me just check the speed here, guys. Sorry, I know this is repetitive. Right, I feel like the proximity radar, the speed of it should be twice as fast. Can I just get those and move those along? There we go. Just a bit faster. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do now is on here, the moment we turn off set escorting, it stops being on event tick, because if it's false, nothing happens, none of that code happens. So if I was to trigger the radar, hiding the radar, that should be a one-time event. So I do need to go back and do the... Oh, I've already got the HUD reference. Oh, good. Okay. God, this music is pucker. Here we go, guys. Moment of truth. Hey! Yeah, baby! Groovy! So, doubling the speed at which the radar is shown, that worked really nicely. Let's get another one. Oh! We got a bug. Ah, but no, that's not a bug. You remember I had that state up the top here. Creature in play. So when the creature's done, I need to go to the portal. That's not a bug, guys. Don't worry. We destroy the actor. So, when a creature is rescued, we need to say... I'll just show you that again, so you can see the quotation bug. We rescue a creature. Now, if I do that again, if I lose the creature's, boom, radar's gone. Creature's saved. We'll go get another one. Now, you'll notice I can't loot. That's because of the thingy. So give me one second. So at the moment we're in the portal. My God, I've got a lot of windows open. So the logic is the creature in play. So that needs to be set to false. And down here, where we're hiding the radar, this happens once the proximity reaches 1. We say we're not escorting, we hide the radar. So we also need to hide the radar from within here. So the solution to this is if we set creature in play to false. So we're saying the creature isn't in play. We've got the HUD reference. So what I can also do is from here, hide radar. This song is pucker. Oh, no, that's good. Sorry. I was just panicking then because if I did this code before the creature's destroyed, it wouldn't happen. But we're not handling this logic from the creature's blueprint. We're handling this from the portal. So it's all groovy. So what this does here, I'm not having to go into the creatures, individual creatures. What I've got in the portal, when a creature is rescued, we update the variable on the player. We set the image on the HUD, and then this is checking if the win condition has been met. And then we say we're no longer escorting, and we get rid of the creature. But then what I've just put in is we're saying the creature's no longer in play, and then we're hiding the radar. So with that creature in play being set, that now means that we will be able to loot again. Welcome to the stream, Irad. There is no problem at all. Everything is fine and dandy. How are you, my friend? I've made some really good progress on this today. I'm very good, mate. I'm very good, thank you. Got sound effects now on the radar. And what will happen, that radar is going to disappear. Get ready. Beautiful. Now we should be able to loot again. Here we go. Let's go. That is a bug fix I'm going to sort out with the door. That works so nicely. Simple UI. Very clear. It's not obstructing. We can see you've got the health, we've got the stamina, we've got the codex. And because that proximity radar is so big, I don't want it visible when there's no creature. It doesn't make sense to. It's just too big. I'm going to create a little sound effects for it, dude. Not sound effects, sorry. It's meant, but that it's meant to disappear. That's the portal. You're meant to guide them to the portal. And it updates the codec. So I'll do like a visual effects for like looking like it's been teleported away. Oh, I'm so happy with that, guys. The game is coming along so well. So well. I just want to see the HUD. The radar being shown again. Just because that's what I've been working on. I'm happy with the speed that comes in. Thank you, bro. Okay. Right, so it's taken me 2.5 hours basically to basically sort out the animation for this. So getting that working. Yes, I've got OCD. Gotta love the OCD, guys. Right, so we've got the animation done. We're handling. We've got the the safety blocks in there for if the player loses the creature. We've got the sound effects. That's also the other thing we've done. The sound effects playing each time the progress bar reaches a certain point on that radar overlay. So it's all synced up. And then we've obviously added on the extra logic here at the end. So in the event the player loses the creature or exceeds the proximity distance from player to creature, then we say they're no longer escorting. We play the last radar sound for when it hits maximum. And we hide the radar. And if we just show that again. We're listening out for the sound effect when the radar disappears. Okay, so we now have everything in place for the creature behavior tree. So it's taken 2 hours 40 to do this. I don't know how it's taken so long, but it works really nice. It's as I want it. So the condition for the creature's retreat logic to kick in is the escorting is false on the player and creature in play is true. So if those conditions are met, then the creature's retreat logic kicks in. So if I just close those creature blueprints, can we close the portal? I think we can close the portal and the spawn manager. So if I just open up a behavior tree for a creature, I always go to Gekanda first. I think he's because, I mean, he was the second creature I modelled. Why am I on this and not the behavior tree? Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, so it's becoming a bit easier to understand the flow of the behavior tree. You have to kind of think of it as a vertical blueprint. The way that it works. So it prioritizes from left to right. So over here, the first priority is if the portal's been reached, we're gonna move towards it. portal reached is the boolean. So when the portal triggered, we're going to the controller. Yeah. So essentially, as I said, on the player, if escorting is false and creature in play is true, then we would basically have the separate branch that has similar things to this, except it's going to be kind of doing what the robot does with the random patrol. And the Gekanda, if I just get up my document. So Gekanda's logic is if he loses the player, find a random location, move to it, wait 5 seconds, and whilst waiting perform the panic animation. And then it will loop and do the same again. It will find a different location. So what I think would be good to do is if I stop for food, just have a food break. It's 2 hours 45. If I have something to eat, and if I say I'll be back in an hour to an hour and a half's time, we will jump into the creature behaviour trees. I did want to do it in this stream, but I didn't think fixing the radar and just the sound effects with that would take as long as it has. But I'm very happy with the end result. That's what matters. So feel free to tune back in an hour and a half's time, guys. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to follow on Twitch if you haven't already. And if you want to see previous streams I've done, feel free to check out my YouTube below. I've got playlists for Unreal, Unity and Blender. And if you want to play any games I've made, go check out my itch page. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe and I will see you in the next stream.